Fantasy sports teams go! Welcome everyone to the first Fantasy Sports Teams Go podcast. I'm Vaughn. This is my boy Ryan.
How's it going?
This is Brian Stavola.
Nice to meet everyone.
We're the Downriver Boys, and we're going to give you an awesome first podcast of Fantasy Sports Teams Go. We're going to go through and analyze each matchup for Week 3, and this is going to take place for my preview article, and let's just get to it. We'll start with mine, I guess, since that's the first one that popped up on my phone. Wilfork on the first date is playing Patrick Hicks. Soon to be Vaughn Lozon's. But what do you guys think about me and Luke's matchup? Well, Ryan, since you got it already there, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I like Derek Carr going on Sunday night, Washington's defense. I know it's at home for Washington, but it's going to be a lot of passing yards, I'm guessing.
I hope so. Both my quarterbacks.
We'll have to see if Gronk is healthy enough to play. That's going to be a big issue for Luke if he doesn't have him play. But also a sneaky matchup for me, I think, is Carlos Hyde this week on the road, at home against LA on Thursday night. Most of the time, Thursday night games aren't very high scoring, but I can see him getting a lot of yards, being that he ran for quite a bit against Seattle last week.
That's true, and Seattle's defensive line is typically like the core of that team.
Yeah,
and they added Richardson from the Jets. They traded for him before the season started, and that whole Seattle team just doesn't look very good right now. Sorry, John. But, Brian, what do you think of the matchup between me and Luke? Who do you think...
I think if he's going to roll with Trevor Siemian again, like, kudos to you, Luke, for even calling that.
That was a hell of a call.
That was hell of a damn call. I texted you making fun of that.
That was a good pickup. I got to say, that was a good pickup for last week, especially against Dallas.
And now he's going up against Buffalo, which...
Yeah. And that's at Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I don't think Buffalo's really that good.
I don't think Buffalo's good at all.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And then next week he's home against Oakland.
Oh, okay.
Two matchups that could go his way. But I think, Evans obviously showed that he's ready to play a great role for you, Vaughn.
Evans is a beast.
Jarvis Landry had 20 targets or something.
Yeah, he's going to get catches
he had
like
13
crazy.
catches in his first game.
Yeah, like PPR.
I looked at that, and I had to look at that twice. I was confused, kind of. I didn't think that was actually correct, but 13 catches, I mean...
I just see a lot of
especially
injuries.
with Jay Cutler throwing his ball. It's smoking Jay Cutler.
So Luke has a lot of injuries right now. He lost David Johnson. Now he's got Gronk, who's possibly out.
Terrence West.
Randall Cobb got hurt last game, left the game. He should be ready for the next game, but you never know. Terrence West, obviously, don't know how bad he got hurt. He left the game also. So,
what do you think about Sammy Watkins on Thursday as well? Do you think he's going to get anything?
See, I'm more leaning towards it being a running type thing going on in the game. A lot of running with Hyde and Gurley going at it. A lot of field goals probably. I don't see a lot of touchdowns, so I'm guessing a lot of yards on the ground.
Okay. Now, I guess to wrap up this one real quick, predictions. Who do you think wins and why?
I'm going to go with Vaughn on this one just because of the injuries. I think Luke has a lot of injuries to deal with right now, and it's going to be tough for him.
Luke has a lot of, I think you, Vaughn, you have more of, consistent pieces. You know what you're going to get, but with Luke, Trevor Siemian, I think he's had 2 good games, but you don't know he's going to do that
somehow.
again.
I have no idea how. The dude's one of the most average quarterbacks in the league.
Might keep it up.
So
Carlos Hyde, his most consistent running back. Jonathan Stewart might sneak a touchdown, but other than that, he's not a part of that offense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I would definitely go with you winning. But how do you feel about playing yourself this week?
I'm pretty nervous to play myself. I've never played myself in fantasy before. But yeah, I think whoever wins, it's going to be me. So
it's true.
Vaughn Lozon's going to win either way. So there's no real loser in this situation. But
hopefully the Lions win with you.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So we'll see. They play the Falcons this week.
Tough game.
You gonna be there?
I'll be there.
You'll be at that game?
I'll be there.
Ooh, excellent. So I guess moving on, we'll just
Next
go
on my list is Papa John versus making roster moves.
Okay, cool. So we'll go with that one next. So we got Papa John against Ross, the two Bay City boys going at each other. I think Ross is 2-0, He beat me this past week. He got lucky. It was
I'm going to say Ross is going to go 3-0.
I think so too. I think Ross's squad is firing on all cylinders right now. That Baltimore defense is killing it. They went up against the Browns, but they still looked good even against the Browns. And the Browns are better this year than what they were last year. But yeah, I think Ross has been killing it so far, and I think that's going to continue. What do you think?
I mean,
this matchup?
you got Dak Prescott. He had a pretty bad game last week, and still ended up winning. Did he start Dak Prescott?
He did not.
Oh, he did not.
He picked up Carson
Palmer. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, he had a pretty bad game. You got to think he's going to bounce back. Monday night game. It's a tough defense, but I don't think they're going to get beat up at the line as bad as they did against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Gordon's a great running back. He's going to put in his stuff.
Yeah, Gordon's really good.
Right now, Allen is a great play. He's getting tons of catches because Woodhead's out. He's getting a lot of carries because Terrence West left the game.
He had 20 points against me last week, so obviously that was a good flex play.
And then he's got even P. Ryan might be a good play next week, just being that
Kelly.
Big old Rob Kelly got hurt.
Big Rob Kelly.
Hurt his rib, might have fractured it.
Do you think this is the week that Ross drops Brandon Marshall?
No way.
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't drop Brandon Marshall. There's no way.
No, he'll wait until Marshall's bye week.
The inner Giants fan won't let him.
It won't let him.
But yeah, I think
on the other side,
I don't know.
I mean, Winston has a tough matchup. Minnesota's always tough, especially at home, defense-wise.
McCoy couldn't even get rush. He couldn't rush against Carolina. And
yeah,
Denver
how's he going to get running space against Denver this week?
Yeah, Denver just held Zeke to 9 yards.
Yeah, they only ran the ball 8 times with Elliott.
So I don't know how McCoy's going to run, and I have him in my other league, so that's
he's projected for 19 points this week.
I'll project him for 3.
I would project him, probably somewhere around there. But I think Tariq Cohen is a good play this week.
Should get a lot of catches.
He should get a lot of catches. He's had a lot of catches to start his career so far. No one knows what's going on with Jordan Howard. I think he's got like a shoulder injury or something. So that's probably going to either limit him or keep him out of the game. If so, Cohen's going to be the guy to go to. Pittsburgh's run defense didn't look all that good on Sunday against Minnesota. Dalvin Cook played really well. And he's only a rookie as well. So I think Cohen could be in for another big game. But I would watch out for Larry Fitzgerald against Dallas on Monday.
Yeah, I can see that being a big game.
I think that's going to be his breakout game this season. He's been pretty quiet so far, mainly because the two defenses that he's went up against so far this season have been pretty good. I don't think Dallas's defense is all that good. Obviously, they gave up like 70,000 points to Denver.
It's going to be a boost for Arizona having a home game finally. They were on the road for the first 2 games. So.
Yeah, and them being home, that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
So I think that could be the game that Fitzgerald breaks out, but that could even out Keenan Allen's future torn ACL. So we will. It's bound to happen at some point, right?
Does John start Chris Carson this week?
I think he should. I think
It's hard to see what's going to happen in that rotation, because Rawls came back last week, didn't play a whole lot. You got to think that eventually they would work him in, but you think Carson's the go-to guy now?
I think he is. I think I would consider benching McCoy this week, and that's I would consider.
That's bold.
I would consider it for Carson. Carson has looked pretty good, and
McCoy just put up
going up against Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have a good defense at all.
That'd be a Trevor Siemian starting quarterback kind of bold play.
It would.
And it worked out for Luke. Maybe you want to do it, John.
It worked. So I would consider it. John being a Seahawks fan, I think the odds may be in Carson's favor to get a start on the squad. But yeah, I think this is actually going to be a pretty good matchup. But I think Ross is going to win.
Awesome.
I'm going Ross in a close one.
I think Ross goes 3-0, and he tries talking shit, but he can go 3-0, but the Giants are going to go 0-3.
Who do the Giants play this week? We could just look at Marshall real quick.
He plays Philadelphia.
At Philadelphia. And they've got a good team this year, too. So it may be 0-3.
I'm going to call Carson Wentz because he's going to throw 2 touchdowns, like 250 yards, and Smallwood's going to get in the end zone for a rushing touchdown, too.
Smallwood. That's right.
That's also something that him and Ross have in common.
We all like Smallwood. Don't worry, Ross. But yeah, all right, so it's a clean sweep. We're all going to go with Ross in this one. Let's go to, once my phone loads, We'll go to Brian's matchup next against Autumn. Autumn got anally penetrated week 1 against her boyfriend, got puked on week 2 against Kyle. She's been just suffering so horribly this fantasy season so far. Brian, what are you going to do to her this week? Or what do you plan on doing, I guess?
Autumn, like, if you're watching this, like, let me know where you want to go to dinner, Wednesday or Thursday, because I at least wine and dine you before I fuck you. I won't sit here and be like Kyle or
and just vomit all over
you. I mean, don't expect me to be there in the morning, because after I get this fantasy win, I'm out. Because I'm going to win this shit. I should have won last week, but we'll get over that. We're not even going to talk about that.
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson.
He's overrated, guys.
Jordy Nelson plays the first play of the game, gets injured, leaves. But I think if I'm going to look at myself and things I have to worry about is obviously Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, that's tough. Is he going to play or not? I heard today he's 50-50.
Yeah, I heard he's 50-50. He may or may not play.
If he does play, it's a great matchup. The Bengals are awful right now.
Yeah, I think he will end up playing, whether it's limited or not. Kind of like Beckham on Monday against the Lions. He was limited. He didn't really do a whole lot, but I think Nelson has a potential to do more just because that Cincinnati defense is bad. And Nelson is the go-to guy.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. I just give him shit because he's a Packer, and I hate him.
Yeah. Plus, we also discussed earlier about the potential that Randall Cobb could not play either. So if that's the case, then Nelson's going to be getting all the targets because Devontae Adams is probably going to drop all of his. I think Brian, you've got the favorable matchup here, but some of her matchups also look pretty good right now.
Lynch having a good game.
I could see, exactly. I could see Marshawn having a pretty good game Sunday night. I could see Frank Gore playing well.
I could see Gore getting a touchdown at least.
Against Cleveland, I can definitely see that.
He got a touchdown last week against Arizona.
They're not going to throw the ball in the end zone. There's no way.
No, Jacoby Brissett's horrible. So Autumn, keep holding on to Frank Gore. Don't give him to Zach.
Who knows what's going to happen with Odell?
Yeah, we'll have to see how good that offense plays coming off that terrible showing against the Lions. Yeah. Absolutely atrocious. Darius shut him down.
I don't think Paul Perkins is a good flex play at all though for Autumn. I think she should consider benching him for literally anybody else on her team. Gio Bernard gets the catches. Paul Richardson even. Jack Doyle had a good week last week. He had
Jimmy Graham's injured too.
Yeah. Oh, is he injured?
Jimmy Graham rode his ankle in the game.
And that might have to be a start for Doyle.
So Doyle might get the start at tight end. But yeah, I don't think Paul Perkins is a good play anywhere, even in the flex.
On the other side, Gillis should probably get a couple touchdowns against Houston. They should be able to score a few. Like that, he's just going to be the guy that gets the vulture touchdowns all year. He's going to be LeGarrette Blount last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
a great play.
That's why I can't take him out.
He's a great play every week.
And that's why the Patriots didn't sign LeGarrette Blount again, because they knew that they were going to have somebody replace him, and they didn't want to pay them all that money, like what the Eagles did. So I think Gilly could get a touchdown or two. I don't know about Russell Wilson. I've never been super high on him as a fantasy quarterback.
I can tell you one thing: he's very frustrating for me so far. I didn't think he was going to be like this, but I don't think there's anybody else with upside for me to go with. The Trevor Siemians of the waiver wire have been picked up already. They've been taken.
And you don't have a backup quarterback on your roster
so
at the moment. So
I might have to roll with Wilson again. I think it's the story every single year of Seattle where I don't think their offense is really that great.
Yeah,
it's not.
That game should be a low-scoring, close one too. I think Tennessee likes to run the ball a lot.
I think Tennessee could pull out the dub in that game.
I think they probably will.
I think with Seattle playing the way that they have on offense, they only won by a field goal.
Carlos Hyde ran for over 100 yards against them last week.
That's just
Murray, he might not play. He got hurt last game.
And I got Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry might be a good play for you.
I think
he might go for
I've been thinking about maybe he might be in my flex. If
Who's your flex spot?
It's Stephon Diggs, but that's dependent on obviously what's happening with Sam Bradford and Jordy Nelson too.
Okay.
Because if Jordy's going down,
you could put Stephon in your wide receiver spot, and then
also Stephon it's hard because he's a great receiver, but without Bradford, he's such a lower tier in terms of fantasy. It's really rough right now.
Yeah, it is really rough. What about your tight end spot? Do you think that you can rely on Charles Clay against Denver?
No.
No? Are you considering putting Zach Miller in that?
I am considering putting Zach Miller in. I think last game he caught 6 passes, 42 yards.
Who? Miller?
Yeah, 6 passes for 42 yards. For fantasy-wise, for like that's just points. Like 6 catches is 6 points. You know, that's
Yeah,
as much
exactly.
as a touchdown. I think that's
Good analysis.
I think that's like literally. I think it's like the Jason Wynn stat line. I've talked about this with Ross. They always get like 40 yards and a touchdown.
Mhm.
You know,
Even better so far this year.
yeah. Jason Wynn's been putting up a good showing so far.
He has been putting up a lot
The
of
go-to
points.
guy right now for Dak.
So
sure as hell ain't Des Bryant.
10 fantasy points. I think I might roll with Miller. You just have to see how.
Well, we all know you don't have to worry about defense, right? We all know Brian's going to pick up a defense. That's what he does.
He's not playing the
Whoever's
Raiders.
facing the Jets, he'll probably pick them up this week.
I might actually switch it up. I have some ideas.
Ooh, okay, we'll have
All right.
to find out.
Because I think secretly Ross is going to pick up the guys.
We'll have to see on the waiver wire on Wednesday. Ryan, who do you think wins?
I'm gonna go with Brian. I think other than quarterback, he's got the favorable running backs, the favorable receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Brian on this one.
Yeah, I think Autumn may actually give you a bit of a fight here, but I think it is going to be Brian's dub here. I think it'll be close though.
I actually think Autumn will play me closer than expected. I mean,
Yeah.
she scored like 70 points the first week, and then she scored 100 the second. I mean, at this rate,
Wow.
she scores 130.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going down in points. But
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pull out. I think it'll be a closer matchup than expected. Does she have any night players? Her entire team right now is going to play at 1 o'clock,
Except for Marshawn.
That's always scary.
except for
when-
Marshawn.
Yeah,
Well-
that's always scary to have the whole team go at 1 o'clock. I don't
Yeah.
like that happening.
It-
For my team, I'm saying.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that. So
So we should, at this rate, we should be able to see, you know, like how the outcome should come by
around 8 o'clock.
around 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see. Shit, yeah.
So Brian, do you think you win?
Of course.
Always have that confidence. All right, I guess we'll move on to Patrick against Heather. Patrick against Heather. This is a pretty intriguing matchup. Tim Brody, obviously, he's the GOAT.
Of
So
course.
Heather's got an advantage at quarterback already, even though Matt Ryan is a good quarterback too. Running backs, let's see, Lamar Miller, I'm not very high on. Le'Veon Bell has been really underwhelming so far this year.
Yeah, but against Chicago, this is going to be the week, man. It's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah, but we thought the Falcons would put up a fair amount of points against Chicago, and it was at Chicago. This game's
True.
at Chicago,
Sure.
and you know how
I'm
Big Ben
going with
plays
it.
in away games.
I'm going with it. Bell's going to have a huge week.
You
Calling
think
it.
so?
Yep.
Okay, that's Ryan's bold prediction of the
It's
week.
not that bold, I don't think, but.
It's a bold prediction. Damn it. I think it's bold just because of the way that he's been playing so far this year. But C.J. Anderson's been killing it. He's probably been the most reliable running back this season.
Yeah.
So far
Yeah.
in fantasy and
Surprising
in
to
real
me,
life.
I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it either, but he's been playing really well. He's got a favorable matchup against Buffalo. And then James White against Houston. James White is the most
PPR.
reliable PPR running back in the league, even more so than like Theo Riddick.
Yeah?
So he's been playing really well. I think so far Heather's got the advantage at quarterback, and Patrick has the advantage at running backs by a little bit of a margin there. And then he's also got Antonio Brown, so
Who also
I mean,
could
who
have a very big
who
game.
could have a very big game, like Le'Veon.
Like Le'Veon.
That's going to be stressful to watch. I mean, you're going to be watching the Steelers for them. And like, Heather's going
One's
to.
going to be rooting for Le'Veon.
Yeah,
One's
one-
going to be rooting for Antonio Brown. That is going to be.
And yours truly is going to be rooting for Big Ben.
Yeah, so Ryan can't really lose in that situation.
I think you have to root for Antonio Brown at that situation.
do the passes to Le'Veon, too.
Just throw touchdowns, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's all it is.
The passing touchdowns is what Ryan wants. But
I think Patrick has the advantage of wide receivers here, too. To be quite honest.
I think so as well, but Devontae Adams could be a very huge play this week if Jordy doesn't play.
and Randall Cobb as well.
Randall Cobb,
So-
if he doesn't play as well,
If
but
he
I
doesn't-
think he will.
I think he will too. He has a better chance than Nelson.
But if Jordy doesn't play, I think Adams becomes the number one receiver there because Cobb's more of a slot guy anyway.
Yeah.
That's true. And I don't think the Vikings are going to have all that good of a game this weekend against Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay just overall has a more talented team.
I like Tampa Bay. They're good.
I like Tampa Bay a lot. I like Adam Thielen as a wide receiver. He usually gets those like big chunk, like one catch for like 30 whatever.
What did he
yards.
do last week without Bradford?
yeah. Also, it's
He
tough
played
without
okay.
Bradford.
I don't think he had like a fantastic.
Honestly,
stat
with
line.
Bradford, I think he's a really good receiver. I think he's great to have in fantasy, and I think
Yeah.
he's a good receiver in the NFL. I just think without Bradford, it's not what you want.
What about Williams going up against KC, though? I don't think that's a very favorable matchup either.
I don't think so either. KC's
No.
defense is pretty good, especially their secondary.
Yeah, so Patrick might have a little problem there. But tight end, obviously Heather's going to have to do something about tight end because Greg Olson's going to be out for a little
Yeah,
bit.
she has Kobe Fleener on her bench, and really, I don't get why she hasn't started Kobe Fleener
From the start.
from the start.
Yeah, Olson hasn't been very good with Calvin Benjamin
That's actually
being
just,
back
like,
and
the injury-
Christian McCaffrey
The
being.
injury might help her decide who to play easily, like instead of having to worry
Fleener's had
about
2
it.
touchdowns so far this year, and like
Yeah.
the Saints actually throw him the ball.
Yeah, the Saints throw him the ball like pretty consistently. Him and Michael Thomas get the majority of those catches. But I love Kyle Rudolph. I mean, right before Patrick took him, I was thinking about taking him in the draft, but he snagged him right before I could get him, and I was like, fuck, now I gotta wait on
Patrick.
tight ends again. I know,
I
damn
think
you,
Rudolph
Patrick.
gets hurt the least with Bradford being out because
I think so too.
because
Yeah.
Keenum likes to throw to tight ends. He doesn't have the arm to check it like as deep as to the receivers. So
Yeah, that's why Stephon Diggs kind of
fits,
suffered
he
a little
fits
bit.
the offense.
He fits the offense really well. So I think Kyle Rudolph's like a top 5 tight end at this point.
Another
fantasy-wise.
interesting thing is Macklin playing in the early game, 9:30 a.m.
I forgot
Who's
about
gonna get
that.
up to watch that?
I'll probably
Jacksonville
be up,
and Baltimore, baby.
but don't we have to watch on like Yahoo or something like that? I think it's like you have
That's
to,
better than Thursday Night Football, dude. Like they switched Thursday Night Football just to NFL, was like
NFL
Network.
Is that
And
permanent now this season?
I think so. I remember like they had it streamed on like Twitter,
They had some on
Yeah,
NBC
Twitter had
as
it
well.
last year a little. NBC had it a little bit last
and like
year.
I love that.
I think it's all.
I thought they
think
had it like half and half.
I don't know if
between
it's
networks
the
last
same,
year.
but
I'd have to look into
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
It honestly might be a blessing in disguise because Thursday Night Football kind of sucks, and
normally
The last
defense-
week was so bad.
this week's gonna suck too.
normally
Yeah,
everyone's rusty.
probably.
You don't get enough time to prepare
Mm-hmm.
for you get 3 days to prepare. For
Rams are gonna
defense.
win.
You think Patrick should do something about his defense as well, going to Detroit? I think Detroit could put up some pretty decent numbers against the Falcons' defense, especially with Vic Beasley being out now for a month. They're gonna have to rely on some other.
I think they
pieces.
could, but I also think the Falcons could have a couple turnovers that really help them out. Like even against the Cardinals, we put up 40 something. They still got a touchdown return.
They got pick six.
They got
yeah.
a lot of points fantasy wise.
Yeah,
so
that
it's not.
shouldn't have
It's
happened.
never a bad play against the Lions. I don't think. You
don't think
bad
so?
things happen to them.
Even with how good the run game looked
Hey,
last night.
Hey, that was. I don't
was
know
a-
what the hell that was.
We're not gonna ever
It
do
was
that
running
again.
on the right side is what it was. When you
That-
run on the right side, you get like 5 yards a carry. It's a good matchup. But
Justin Tucker, a lot of points this week.
he always gets a lot of points.
My heart
But-
still goes out to Young Hoku.
Young Hoku.
Rip Young Hoku.
He's not gonna lose his job though. So
Dude, I heard.
Did he lose his
I
place
heard-
in Brian's team though?
Yeah, I love that one. I read this joke, and it was like Chargers thinking about bringing in competition to challenge Young Hoku, and some person was like, "Oh, they could bring in John Brown because he's used to being Young Ho's." Josh Brown, whatever the kicker was for the Giants.
Yeah, Josh Brown.
And I was like, "Ooh, that was."
That's good.
that's brutal.
That's definitely dark humor. Hopefully someone laughed at that.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody did.
Hopefully YouTube doesn't take this down because of that.
Yeah, we better not get demonetized.
Demonetized.
All right, who wins and why?
Patrick.
As much as I love Tom Brady, I'm going Patrick. I think his receivers and running backs are going to do it for him.
Heather, I'm gonna roll with you, baby. I don't know why, but I think Patrick has the better matchups. But I'm just gonna say Heather just cause.
Well,
kind of some faith.
I think Heather can have a chance. I don't now that Kobe Fleener will be in. I think she has to make a decision with Mike Wallace. He hasn't performed 2 weeks in a row. I think the Ravens
that's
have
true.
decided that they're a running team now, even though they did the most passes in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
Tevin Coleman, I think, was a Kyle Shanahan player, and now that Shanahan's out, he doesn't really have a role. I know he got a touchdown last week, but I don't
If
think
Le'Veon Bell outscores Antonio Brown by 10 points, she'll win. So,
Yeah.
There. That's what I'm
Essentially.
going with. I don't think it's going to happen.
That'll
though.
settle
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Brown's going to be
No,
as well.
I think so too. Okay, so but you're going Patrick still?
Yeah, I'm going Patrick.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to Ryan.
Hey.
We're gonna give Ryan some love now.
Get some airtime, boys.
2-0.
Ryan against Tyler, right?
Tyler, yep.
Tyler, okay. Ryan against Tyler. Let's go through this here. Obviously, okay. Aaron Rodgers has the favorable matchup
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah. It's a rough one.
I mean, are you going to play Cam Newton this week?
I'm leaning towards going with Ben Roethlisberger. Cam Newton's been very disappointing. Losing Greg Olsen doesn't help him. I think I'm
playing against Chicago.
I'm gonna go with Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
he's fairly consistent at least getting a touchdown or two.
Yeah, and
he's not gonna have those crazy games like he used to with 5 touchdowns and 300 yards.
Those are so nice.
But he'll have mid 200s, couple touchdowns. It's good enough for me.
Yeah,
that's what you want. I mean, you don't want Cam Newton.
That's what Derek Carr gives me every week. I love it, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get Russell Wilson waiting until the last drive of the game to get a touchdown.
Yeah, I know. Crunch time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at least I got my touchdown.
Yeah, so Big Ben against Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is he's the top quarterback. Aaron
Rodgers is going to do what he does to the Lions every time, and he's going to make me cry. He's absolutely going to destroy Cincinnati. Even without Jordy, if he doesn't play, I think they'll.
He's going to work his Rodgers, man.
He's going to get 3 touchdowns.
At least
more than that, I think. I think he gets 4.
10 touchdowns.
He's going to hit. All the touchdowns.
No, please stop. I can't take that much.
14 touchdowns.
Tyler, you can't play LeGarrette Blount. He had literally no carries last week.
What was that about?
I don't know.
I read earlier in the week that they were going to.
Who was the main running back for Philadelphia?
Smallwood? Was it Smallwood?
Smallwood only had 17 yards. I think they gave it to Sproles most of the time.
That's sad. That sucks.
And he had 40 runs. They threw it most of the time.
Yeah, let's see.
I think you have the better running backs. I actually think, next to Zach, I think you have the best running backs in the league.
You've got the better running backs in this matchup.
Thank you.
Todd Gurley's got a chance to go off, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
but LeGarrette Blount is a liability at this point. And even if he swaps in a guy like Duke Johnson, he's not even really a running back anymore.
He's like a wide receiver.
But Duke Johnson should have a pretty good game, I think.
We'll see. I mean, at Indianapolis.
I mean, he's definitely.
He's a Brown, so you never know.
If you had to pick him, well, I mean, this is would you rather have Duke Johnson right now or Isaiah Crowell? And you have Crowell.
Duke Johnson.
Ouch.
They want to be like that. I think
they don't run the ball is the thing, though. Because they're losing all the time. They don't have an opportunity.
DeShone Kaiser wants to throw the ball 30 yards every single play.
Kaiser sucks. Fuck the Browns.
And then obviously there's
the king of games. Yeah, Julio had a good game on Sunday night.
I think it's going to even get better.
Secondary.
I think it's going to be even better against the Lions. As much as I love the way the Lions defense has been playing and how good Darius Slay is, Julio Jones is the kind of receiver that will give Slay a tough matchup because of his size.
Mm-hmm.
Normally Slay can press against a receiver that's equally his size, and he'll be able to match him in speed. Julio, I think, will be able to kind of bully him, and I think he's at least going to get a touchdown.
They at least a touchdown?
I could see
I could see that as well. But the other wide receivers, Travis Benjamin and Colt Beasley, I'm not really sure about that. But yeah. But what about the 2 tight ends in here? We've got Jordan Reed and Jason Witten. I think that's pretty smart, actually.
I mean, it worked last week. Jordan Reed is questionable. I don't know how bad the injury is now, but
he's always banged up.
Yeah, he's always banged up.
He's a China doll.
He's had to go with a tight end flex after losing Allen Robinson, which really hurt him.
That is rough, yeah. But why hasn't he dropped Allen Robinson? Tyler, drop Allen Robinson,
Hey,
please.
He might want to keep him next year, man.
That's stupid. No, drop Allen Robinson.
Don't drop Allen Robinson.
And why is he playing the Rams defense over the Broncos? Did he not watch the Broncos game last week? I know it's Thursday night.
Yeah, he probably hasn't changed it yet.
Yeah, Tyler, get your shit together, man. Anyways, so Ryan, favorable running backs. He has the favorable quarterbacks. Wide receivers, I would give it to Ryan here. DeAndre is the number 1 option. Devontae Parker, I think, could have a pretty good game against the Jets. And obviously Amari Cooper is Amari Cooper.
I like my receivers, but Hopkins worries me a little bit just because of how weak the offense looks all the time. It takes them until the very end of the game to get some catches because their quarterback, they won't call plays to actually have the quarterback throw it downfield.
Yeah, and that is kind of
it's a little risky, but against New England, they'll probably be down 30, so hopefully they'll be chucking a deep ball game and they'll get some
Watson's going to be giving you all the points to DeAndre probably. I mean, he was targeting DeAndre Hopkins entire Thursday game.
Yeah.
So, but Brian, what do you think about the wide receivers? Any
Hopkins, I think is I can't even tell you the second wide receiver.
I know. Fuller being hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
I almost said the Rockets. I'm thinking football basketball for some reason. And Houston. Parker, I think Cutler, like, I watched some of the highlights. Cutler looks like he wants to throw the ball. Like, he wants
to air it out deep.
Yeah.
He wants to sling the ball.
I mean, it shows.
He's always been that way.
Parker basically saved him from throwing a pick last game, too, on one of those deep balls. He, like, just took it from a safety. That's the kind of thing that Cutler looks at and goes, oh, okay, I can throw it to him more often now. Like, he's going to save me like Brandon Marshall used to or Alshon Jeffrey used to.
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
I think you have the better receivers. Cooper is good. He's great.
Cooper is good.
I think he gets his touchdowns, though, not when they're in the 20. Or maybe it's like once they're within like the 10.
Yeah, that was the thing last year a lot was they didn't target him when they were really close to the end zone. It was like when they were like 20 to 25 and out.
He got all the like real deep balls.
Yeah, into the end zone.
Yeah.
But in the first game of the season, they targeted him 5 times in the like within the 5-yard line.
And he dropped it like 3 times in a row.
He got one of them, but he dropped a couple. And then the second game, obviously, they gave him all to Crabtree. He just dominated that defense. Just destroyed. He destroyed.
Yeah, he had a really good game. But tight end,
Travis Kelce, I think.
Kelce's he's great.
I think he's going to be the number 1 tight end. I think he's going to take it over Gronk in fantasy, honestly, because I think Gronk just gets injured.
I think Kelce is just more consistent now.
Yeah, and like
even his bad games, he'll get like 4 shovel passes and he'll end up with 10 to 12 points. Like.
Yeah, and one of them could be like a goal line touchdown shovel pass. Yeah.
That's just Kelce's a very big playmaker now, I think.
Yeah.
Jaquiz, I think, is a good flex option, especially if Doug Martin out.
It's decent. It's a tough matchup, though.
Minnesota does have a good run defense, but, I mean...
Lutz is
he's
good.
been playing well so far this season, so... In the one game.
The one game,
yeah, I forgot they had that bye week. That sucked. Kicker, Dan Bailey's the guy. Dan Bailey wins.
Yeah, he'll probably beat me because of Bailey on Monday night. No, but if you look at all the players that Tyler has, he has so many people playing on Thursday night, Monday night, or Sunday night. Like, he barely has anyone playing on Sunday in the day.
He has 2 players playing at 1 o'clock. Everyone else is either 4:30 or later. So that'll be interesting.
One of them is LeGarrette Blount, so I guess, like, you even count him?
I mean, I guess.
We'll see if Tyler even plays.
Yeah, we'll see if Tyler ends up putting him on his bench. If he does put him on his bench and plays Duke Johnson, he'll have another 1 o'clock game. But we'll see if that happens. But Brian, who do you think wins in this and why?
Ryan, I think you just have better matchups. I like your players better.
All right. Ryan has the better players. Ryan has the better matchups. Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna win.
See, for me, I don't see myself having the better matchups just because of Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones, and I think Gurley's got a good matchup too. I think that those 3 players are going to put up a lot of points each, and it's going to end up being close because of that. My guys, I think, will have more consistent points between them, but those 3 guys are going to absolutely destroy it, I think.
So let's say Rodgers gets like 28 to like 35 fantasy points, because that's totally a game I can see him having.
I'm assuming he's going to do that.
And then Julio gets like 20 fantasy points, and Gurley, he's been like really good.
He's got like 20 each game so far.
Yeah,
at least.
Who's he playing?
He's at San Fran.
San Fran on Thursday.
Thursday night is usually like a run. They like to run it.
Yeah,
running and defense.
Running and defense. Like Gurley can easily put up, he gets like the dump off passes. He's like in the passing.
He's had a lot of catches.
He's in the passing game a lot more. So let's say he gets 22. So at that point, you're looking at 30, 50, 70 points between them.
3 players, and that's enough, I think, to make up for the LeGarrette Blount, the Beasley that might not have a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be tough for me. I think that Tyler's going to beat me in this one, but I'm going to go for it. I'm holding out hope that Aaron Rodgers gets hurt or something.
We always hope that Aaron
King of the North.
Yeah, King of the North, those Detroit Lions. I don't know. Part of me wants to say that Julio doesn't have a great game, though. Just because last year and throughout his career, he's always had like one awesome giant game, and then it follows up with like 3 catches for 20 yards. So hopefully one more open slate.
Can you just imagine if the Lions were able to beat the Falcons? How amazing that'd be. 3-0. Everyone's talking about how we beat the Falcons.
The headline on ESPN.
Oh, I'll be so
happy. The Giants
are
0-3. What do they do next?
Headline.
I'll be so happy.
Falcons go down.
Falcons lose. Oh my God. Super Bowl hangover. They lost to the Lions. Horrible.
No one's giving credit to the Lions.
No one ever gives
Never.
credit. No, it'll never happen. Even if they won the Super Bowl, they'd be like, wow.
Well, the Falcons are just bad this year.
I can't believe the Broncos blew it in the Super Bowl.
You know, they beat Green Bay, but maybe they're just riding a high from the new stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Falcons are just bad this year. That's why the Lions beat them.
All right, our final matchup is Zach against Kyle, which is always fun. You know, we've got one person that, you know, we truly value their friendship, and then there's Kyle. So going through the matchups, what stands out to me right away, DeMarco Murray against Seattle for Zach. That could be either really good or really bad, just depending on how Seattle's defense plays. So that's
also
kind of a
his
risky
injury
play,
status.
and his injury as well. So that's kind of a risky play at the moment. We'll see if he takes him out and puts somebody else in. I don't actually think he has another running back except for Ty Montgomery, and that's his flex spot.
Ty
Montgomery's a good option, though.
Yeah.
Against Cincinnati, he's going to have a lot of points, I think.
Probably. I could see him having, like, 20 points in that game, just with all the catches and stuff that he gets as well. Zeke, he was horrible. He was really bad.
I like Zeke to bounce back.
We were talking about Zach's run game before the season even started, how awesome it looks, and now it's like, well, kind of questionable at this point.
The line got dominated by Denver. I don't think many defenses can do that.
Yeah,
they only handed him the ball like 4 or 5 times in the first 3 quarters.
It didn't seem like Zeke was even really trying, though.
He didn't seem into it.
He seemed like, look, I'm ready to just go home. I don't know if it was
maybe he wants a service suspension. Just get it over with.
Maybe.
He's tired of the appeal process.
Go ahead, dude. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, man.
I think he will have a decent game, though. I think he'll
have a
back
better
a bit.
game. With it being Monday
He should have a better
night,
game than 5 yards, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Brady outran Elliott last week.
It was like 8 yards.
Let that sink in. Tom Brady outran Ezekiel Elliott last week.
We almost outran Ezekiel Elliott this week. But, yeah, the running backs are pretty favorable for Kyle. Leonard Fournette, he's had a touchdown in each of his first 2 games. Jay Ajayi looked good last week, and he's going against the Jets, who are probably the worst team in football.
Great.
Yeah. So he's going against probably the worst team in football. He'll probably get another 100 yards, potentially 1 or 2 scores.
You think Cincinnati's finally going to get a touchdown? You think AJ Green will do anything?
Against Green Bay at Green Bay.
I mean, they're going to have to chuck it all game, right?
I think
they'll be down.
I think Cincinnati, they're going to lose and they're going to play bad, but I do think they get a touchdown. I think a new offensive coordinator, new scheme.
Yeah, they did fire their offensive coordinator.
New schemes. Yeah. That's something Green Bay can't plan for. And plus, Green Bay is, like, I don't even understand how this team can go from being super healthy to super injured.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
I don't know. Their entire offensive line is, like, banged up. We stole T.J. Lang from them, which is cool. Fuck you, Green Bay. And, yeah, their offensive line, secondary doesn't look very good. Even with them being healthy, they don't look good.
No, I don't think they looked that great either. And I thought they were good the first game against Seattle, but I think that's just because Russell Wilson literally hiked the ball with Green Bay's lineman right in his face, so he really didn't have a chance to throw.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe Cincinnati gets their first touchdown. I'm just going to say no, just because I like that storyline. I like that storyline a lot, how they haven't scored a touchdown yet.
Over under. What do you think the over under is in Vegas for
touchdowns?
For Cincinnati going the entire season without an offensive touchdown?
I wouldn't bet on it.
I wouldn't bet on it either.
It's rough that people even have to talk about that. That team has so much offensive talent. There's no way they should not have a touchdown in 2 games.
They got Joe Mixon at running back.
Well, apparently they want Colin Kaepernick as their quarterback.
Is that true?
That's what
the players apparently, they want to get rid of Dalton. Like, they want to bench him so they can pick up Kaepernick as a starter.
Just straight up skipping A.J. McCarron.
Poor A.J.
Oh.
He scored so high on the one.
Yeah.
I like Golden Tate.
Yeah, I like the Lions' offensive matchups this week with Stafford and Tate for Zach. I think they're both going to have pretty good offensive games.
Yeah.
I would start Marvin Jones.
Better than against the Giants.
I might think about that, too.
Marvin Jones, he only had the one catch last game, though. They really didn't target him much.
Yeah, but Eric Decker's going against the Legion of Boom. He hasn't even really been that good this year anyways.
True.
Marcus Mariota
I'm
hasn't
not huge on Decker, no.
Yeah, I'm just not really big on the Titans offense as a whole right now.
Yeah, Mark Jones or Gabriel. Gabriel could be a good play.
Zach, drop
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
White.
that's true.
Drop Kevin White, Zach.
Yeah.
No, dude, you might want to keep him. Hold on to him.
Drop Kevin White. He's,
No, dude,
he's
you
not
gotta
even
stash
good.
him. He's going to break out next year.
No, you could draft him in the draft.
This is like his 5th year in the league, and he's only played 4 NFL games.
Has it been that many? I thought he was shut down for the season like every year that he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Like all 2 years that he's been in the league.
I think Kyle has great running back options this week. I think, especially if he moves Jeffrey to his starting receiver and flexes someone like Thompson. Thompson, I think, could have a really good game, especially receiving the ball against Oakland.
Start Kenny Golladay.
Kenny G, baby. Yeah, dude, you're not starting Golladay again? What's your problem?
Go the entire season without starting Kenny Golladay.
He's projected 8.84 points. That's going to win you the matchup. I would play, I don't know, I probably wouldn't play Golladay. But I also would have traded a 7th round pick for Golladay either. So, I digress. Let's see, what else we got here? Flex spot. Ty Montgomery's been great. He's probably been another one of those most consistent running backs, along with Melvin Gordon, and
CJ Anderson.
and CJ. Yeah, CJ's been real good. Jeffrey, I'm not very high on. I mean, he had his first touchdown, but
Yeah.
But
the first week, you
I don't
got to think he was facing Josh Norman, though. Like that's why he had struggled. Most receivers are going to struggle when they face Josh Norman. He's a great corner.
now he's got to go up against that stout 0-2 Giants defense.
True.
So we'll see. Tight ends, Gates is about as reliable as they come.
Yeah, who do they play? They play Kansas
They're playing
City.
Kansas City, but I mean I know that's not,
not the
really
greatest
it's not the
matchup.
greatest matchup, but it is at home in front of that
I honestly
25,000 fan stadium.
I honestly think that Hunter Henry is going to start getting more action instead of Gates.
I think he should.
I think that they wanted Gates to get that record,
Yeah.
and now that they got it, they can start to work Henry in more. I think
Yeah.
they just want to get the young guys some time, give them some experience.
But how do you think Delaney is going to do against Seattle, though?
It's also a pretty tough matchup.
It's a tough matchup, and like I said,
I think they
Tennessee's
got-
offense hasn't been that great. But he has been the one workhorse in that offense, though.
I
Because
think-
Corey Davis is kind of banged up.
I think if
Eric
you have
Decker's
them,
not
you roll
playing
with
well.
them. You just don't expect a huge week.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Defenses, Chiefs against Chargers. Like you said, that's kind of a good matchup for the Chiefs defense. And then Vikings defense, I don't think that's a favorable matchup at all against Tampa Bay.
Are they home?
Yeah, they're home. I don't think that really matters, though.
I don't think
I honestly think I think they have a good matchup against Tampa Bay at home.
Really?
I think Minnesota's defense is pretty good. They kept them in that game against the Steelers.
I mean,
It should have been a blowout.
I'm
Their
thinking.
offense was awful.
I'm thinking about the first week when the Vikings played the Saints, and I would rather have Drew Brees throwing the ball than Jameis Winston, and they did a good job against Drew
But would
Brees.
you rather have the rest of the Saints team or the rest of the Tampa Bay?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
like Tampa's line better. I like Mike Evans the best out of all the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans is obviously a beast. Deshaun Jackson, I think, like they brought him in for a reason.
He's a good two receiver.
Jameis was throwing bombs to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys see
Kinda why I
Did you guys see
didn't think
Jay Cutler's Hail Mary at the end of the first half?
Yeah, didn't it go like way out of bounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned that one from Andy Dalton.
yeah, apparently. All right. Before we make fun of Kyle Moore, who do we think wins and why?
I'm gonna go with Zach. I'm gonna go with Zach. I don't know why, but like Zach's team just I can see like
On paper, it just looks really nice.
yeah,
look nice.
like it looks nice. Kyle has a lot of good players going right now, and like I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle won, but Stafford is playing really good right now, and he only had 122 yards, but I don't think the game
They didn't
really,
have to air it out much.
They didn't have to air it out.
He only passed it 4 times in the second half.
Yeah, see, like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like that's not
that
going to
is
happen.
ridiculous.
That's not going to happen against the Falcons.
No, he's going to air it out that entire game, I'm assuming.
Stafford's going to have a multiple touchdown game.
Should.
Hope like for Zach's sake, he has hope one of them goes to Tate.
Yeah.
Or even if he
Yeah.
does start Marvin. Like, like that's something to worry about.
Marvin's got touchdowns in each of his first 2 games too, right? Did Marvin have a touchdown
Yeah,
in the
he
first
had
game?
one with
Yeah.
one also.
Yeah. So
Zeke-
Marvin could be a pretty good play.
I think Zeke's going to bounce back. I think Montgomery is probably going to end up being like one of the top 10 running backs in fantasy this year, if not top 5. He's playing like a top 5.
He is playing like a top 5.
So I think, obviously there's questions with Decker, but I think he can maybe make up for that by looking at some other options. But I think
a million other receivers.
I'm going to call this one as being the closest matchup of the week.
You think so?
I think it really could be close. I like Zach's quarterback way better than Wentz this week against the Giants. To be fair, the Giants' defense hasn't been that bad. I mean, the Lions really only scored the 2 early touchdowns, and then they got the punt return, which wasn't against the defense. I don't think Wentz is going to have the greatest game, but I really like Kyle's running backs this week. Like all 3 of them, if he was to play Thompson, I think is a great matchup. And I'm going to go with Kyle to win this one, even though I think the best quarterback's on the other side.
This one's really close, but I'm going to give it to Zach by like a point. It's going to be really, really close. By 1 point.
It's going to be really close. Do they have any Monday night players going? Because that would be really cool.
Let's see. Dallas
Zeke.
against.
Yeah, Zeke and J.J. Nelson for Kyle.
So it could. Yeah, it's.
I like J.J. Nelson. I think
he's a burner.
I think J.J. Nelson's because John Brown's not playing. Palmer's not targeting whatever J. Brown they have there. Jaron Brown.
John Brown.
Is it John? They have like John Brown and Jaron Brown.
Yeah, they have 2 brothers.
John, Jaron.
They're brothers?
I'm pretty sure they're brothers.
Johnson, Jamal,
Yeah,
Jerry.
I'm almost certain they're brothers. If not, that's pretty insane. Because their names are so similar.
I'm surprised we didn't
and
bring
they
up-
look similar too.
Surprised we didn't
Not
bring up
racist.
what
Wow,
card.
Damn it! All right, demonetized.
Yeah,
See you later, guys.
We gotta flag this video now for racism. Jesus Christ.
That's how you make it big nowadays.
That's true. But what were you
I was gonna say I'm surprised we didn't talk about which Cardinals running back Luke was gonna start because he has like
David Johnson.
I mean, Chris Johnson was the best one last week,
Was
right? It looked like it stat-wise.
I didn't even really see the stats from that.
Kerwin
game.
didn't really do much. Ellington got a few catches, but that's about it.
I wouldn't want to play any of them.
Yeah, honestly, they all look pretty poor. They're going to rotate them all.
The offense.
Without David Johnson, he's like the main one. Without him, they're just going to rotate all 3.
Their
I
offense
think.
just sucks.
We'll see once they're at home. They've had hard
It is a
matchups
home
so
game
far.
this week.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we will. So, any other final thoughts before we wrap this up? Any fuck Kyles or
No.
well,
any
fuck Kyle.
No, I'm backing Kyle this week. You go win this one, boy.
fuck Kyle?
Zach's gonna win.
I guess we'll find out this week. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Fantasy Sports Teams Go, and maybe we'll do it next week, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Bye bye.